Well, pop music in its essence, it's in the name. What's popular nowadays? It's a timestamp of whatever times we live in. It doesn't pigeonhole itself in a certain genre. It's just whatever checks people boxes nowadays and gets the most plays. Basically, whatever you hear in the top 40 radio charts, or Spotify charts, or Apple Music charts, whatever. It just could be a certain trend or people rediscovering a certain sound, for example, like Bruno Mars rediscovering the disco sound of the past. Or it could be there's a new technology and people are reacting, like where overdrive or distortion was discovered, or even the drum machine was discovered, and that, of course, set a whole new wave of sound. To write a pop song, a popular song that rings in the masses, it's actually a very thought out, meticulous process. There's I would say as 9 out of 10 of the pop songs that have charted that I've written has always been carefully researched, not just in the next few months. We're talking about in the next 6 months, next year. For example, like in the past, we have very long instrumental intros, but right now, it's in reaction to people's short attention span. Most of the songs, you hardly even have an intro sometimes.
Looking at the stars down by the ocean.
The approach might be quite formulaic in that sense, or quite dry, but it is our job to make sure that the artist doesn't feel that way. It always feels like it's an organic representation of the artist.
I was in an interview for a scholarship, and the panel asked me one simple question. Do you think that there is a Singapore sound? And then I sat there for a very long time and I said, alamak, no, there isn't.
The search for the Singapore sound has been quite a journey. I think it's been a constant discovery and rediscovery of what it is. It's good to keep that at the back of your head, but it's very important that the song is an accurate representation of the artist. That's first. And of course, my agenda with the Singapore sound is secondary. It started as simple as trying to sneakily incorporate audible sonic traits of what Singapore is. Commonly for people, could be like the EZ-Link cards, your traffic lights, your MRTs. In one of my earlier things where it was a song called Queen Fisher that was written with Joanna Dong. Most of the time in that song when we were writing, we sat in the studio just listening to a lot of old Malay folk songs. And the Malay folk tunes and the Chinese folk tunes actually use a very similar scale. It's a pentatonic scale. But the way they choose to move around some of these notes actually inform or creates that color that is very identifiable with their racial heritage, their tradition. That time where most of the writing of that song was spent just listening to that actually informed us in creating a melodic contour that kind of created that Singapore flavor. I'm pretty sure in the past maybe there was a much larger stigma toward music as a career in general in this country. But I guess with the onset of a lot of success stories overseas, Nathan Hartono, Joanna Dong, Jasmine Soko as well. All these guys have changed the perception of the sustainability and the possible success of local music. But I do feel that it doesn't necessarily need to start by having a champion from our shores come back as a success story from overseas. Two most important things, right, to get this to work is culture and nurture. The appreciation of the arts has to start at home, nurturing as you're a kid, understanding the importance and the weight of the arts in general. I wouldn't have been able to do this if my parents didn't allow me to appreciate the arts outside of me practicing piano for a grade 8 exam. It just takes a while because the perception of something doesn't change overnight. It takes a few generations to kind of inculcate. And of course, culture, which I believe that the government has definitely have been supporting. I think a combination of both would be able to kind of aid in this perception being, or improving, and kind of wiping away that stigma lah. We are well on our way. We just got to be patient.